Welcome to Pathlight English, everyone.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining us.
We are so glad you're here. This is a space where we focus on practical, calm, and friendly language tools.
Exactly. Tools you can actually use in the real world.
Right. And today we are doing a really special deep dive into our source material. We're looking at a guide called Customer Service English, Polite but Firm.
It is such a good guide, honestly.
It really is. And, it is specifically designed for B1 and B2 English learners.
Right, but I think we should emphasize that the psychology here is universally applicable. I mean, native speakers need this just as much.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, picture this scenario, right?
Yeah.
You are staring at your screen. You are completely paralyzed.
Oh, no. I know this feeling.
Right, because 2 weeks ago, you ordered this critical piece of hardware for a project, and it is due tomorrow.
And you paid for expedited shipping, obviously.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Track the package obsessively.
Yeah.
And today, when you finally slice open that box, it is just a cheaper, completely incorrect model.
Ugh, the absolute worst. You feel that sudden hot wave of adrenaline, like right in your chest.
Exactly. Your heart rate spikes.
Yeah.
So you pick up your phone, right? You dial customer service.
And you navigate that horrible labyrinth of automated menus.
Yeah, the endless menus. And when a human being finally answers, you just unleash this torrent of justified fury.
Because you are right. You are totally justified.
Right. You tell them they ruined your project. You tell them their company is, completely incompetent. And what happens?
Usually the agent just goes completely silent.
Yeah. And then they recite this robotic apology. They tell you the return will take like 14 to 21 business days. No exceptions.
And you hang up feeling absolutely defeated.
So defeated.
Yeah.
I mean, to our listener out there, have you ever been in that exact situation? Have you ever been annoyed or disappointed, but you struggled to express it without sounding either way too aggressive or just completely passive?
It is such a common struggle, navigating those emotions in a second language or even your first language. It requires very specific conversational tools.
Which brings us to the core message of this deep dive. Our foundational thesis today is that polite English does not mean weak English.
That is so important. Polite does not equal weak.
Right. You can be entirely respectful while still being completely clear about what you need.
Exactly. Because when we feel wronged, our biological instinct is to escalate. We want the other person to feel the weight of our distress.
For sure. But in modern corporate systems, that instinct is a total trap.
It really is. The moment you introduce unmanaged emotion into that interaction, you are actively sabotaging your own goal.
But wait, I have to push back on this a little bit, just to play devil's advocate here.
Go for it.
If I am really genuinely upset, like they messed up bad, shouldn't they know how mad I am?
Yeah.
Doesn't that prove my problem is serious?
Well, it is the most natural instinct in the world to want them to know you're angry. But our source has a strict rule about avoiding yelling and keeping a calm tone.
Why is that rule so rigid, though?
Because when you show up with hostility, you trigger their de-escalation protocol. You force them into a defensive posture.
Oh, I see. So their brain shifts from fixing the problem to managing me.
Precisely. They stop looking at their computer system to fix your order, and they start looking at their script for handling an abusive caller.
That makes so much sense. So keeping a calm tone makes you sound professional, which ensures they actually listen to the problem.
Exactly. You maintain authority by whispering your boundaries, not shouting your demands.
I love that, whispering your boundaries. Okay, so let's get into the actual toolkit. The first phase is the opening.
Right. Starting calmly, the initial moments are incredibly fragile.
They really are. Which brings us to our first phrase from the guide. I am having an issue with this order.
It sounds so simple, but it is so effective.
Yeah, the meaning here is just to introduce a problem without sounding aggressive. But let's look at the usage note. Why do we rely on the word issue?
Because it is a completely neutral term. It is highly useful in customer service.
Right, like why not say you made a huge mistake? Or this order is a disaster.
Well, words like mistake or disaster carry a heavy emotional payload. They are accusatory.
Oh, totally. If someone tells me I made a mistake, my immediate reflex is to prove them wrong.
Right. You initiate a trial and they are the defendant. But issue depersonalizes the failure.
It's like a doctor looking at an x-ray, right?
Yeah.
They don't say, you made a terrible mistake with your leg. They say, we have an issue with this bone.
That is a brilliant analogy. It puts the representative immediately into problem-solving mode.
Okay, let's practice the delivery. Listeners, pay attention to the clear, flat tone. I am having an issue with this order.
Perfect. Very calm.
Let's do a mini dialogue to hear it in action. I will be the agent. How can I help you today?
I am having an issue with this order.
See? As the agent, my friction is absolute zero. I'm just ready to pull up your account.
Exactly. You bypass the emotional friction completely.
Okay, but what if the problem isn't a broken item? What if it's more nuanced? Like you ordered a walnut table and it just looks way darker than the website photos.
Oh, the expectation gap. This is where people get trapped in an unwinnable debate.
Right, because if you say, this color is wrong, they just say, well, the box says walnut, so it is right.
Which brings us perfectly to our second phrase. I was expecting something different.
Ah, such a good pivot. The meaning here is for when the result does not match what you expected.
And the usage note points out that this sounds much calmer than just bluntly stating, this is wrong.
Because it shifts the focus to your expectations, rather than directly attacking the company.
Exactly. No one can argue with your internal expectations. You aren't calling them liars.
Let's hear the example sentence delivery. I was expecting something different based on the description.
Notice how that invites curiosity instead of defensiveness.
Let's run a mini dialogue. You be the agent this time.
Sure. What seems to be the problem with the item?
I was expecting something different.
Right away, as the agent, I naturally want to ask, oh, what were you expecting to receive?
That's like adjusting a mirror. You know?
Wait, how do you mean?
Like if the rearview mirror in your car isn't showing what you need, you don't punch the glass and break it.
Oh, I love that. You just gently tilt it.
Yeah, you're just tilting the conversation to show them the gap between their description and reality.
That is fantastic. You're inviting them to look at that gap with you.
Okay, so we started calmly. We have their attention. Now we transition to the second section of the guide, explaining the problem.
This is a danger zone. People tend to ramble here.
Oh, big time.
Yeah.
We want to tell the whole epic saga of our suffering. But how do we explain what went wrong without doing that?
We use phrase number 3. Here is what happened.
Simple but powerful. The meaning is just to use this phrase to organize the story.
Yeah, the usage note is key here. This phrase helps you sound clear and prepared.
It's like a verbal signal, right?
Exactly. It acts as a definitive marker to the listener that a sequence of events is coming.
Okay, let's hear the example sentence. Here's what happened. I placed the order yesterday, but it never arrived.
Very tight, very factual.
Let's do the mini dialogue. I'll be the agent. Can you explain the problem?
Sure. Here is what happened.
As the agent, the moment I hear that, my hands go right to the keyboard. I know a timeline is coming.
It primes their attention. It gives them cognitive ease, which makes them way more cooperative.
But wait, let me add some complexity. What if the timeline is a total mess? Like the item was late, the box was ripped, the driver was rude, and the screen is cracked.
The compound failure, the kitchen sink approach.
Yes. People want to list every single grievance because it all feels so unjust.
But if you dump 5 overlapping complaints on an agent, you induce total paralysis. They don't know which system to check first.
Which leads us to phrase 4. The main problem is.
Yes. The meaning here is to forcefully focus on the most important issue.
And the usage note warns us that in frustrating situations, people tend to list every tiny thing. This phrase avoids those long, confusing complaints.
It zeroes in on what actually needs fixing right now.
Here's the example sentence delivery. The main problem is that I paid for delivery, but the package was not delivered.
Notice how it cuts through the noise.
Let's do the mini dialogue. You be the agent looking at a messy account.
Okay, so I see notes here. There were several issues with this delivery.
Yes, but the main problem is the missing item.
Perfect. You grabbed the steering wheel and directed me to the priority.
But I'm going to push back again. What if everything is equally terrible? Doesn't ignoring the rude driver let the company off the hook?
It's about triage. Prioritizing the main problem gets you the fastest initial action, which is your goal.
Oh, like an emergency room. You fix the punctured lung before you tape up the broken finger.
Exactly. Once you get your refund for the missing item, you can submit a feedback survey about the driver later.
That makes total sense. Okay, smoothly transitioning now. We've explained the problem calmly, but complaining isn't enough.
Right, you must transition the conversation from the past into the future.
From the problem to the solution. Which brings us to section 3, asking for action.
This requires a very delicate grammatical balance.
Let's look at phrase 5. Could you look into this? The meaning is to ask someone to investigate the problem.
The usage note here is all about unpacking that phrasal verb, to look into.
Right. Why use look into instead of just saying, investigate this immediately?
Because look into is collaborative rather than demanding. Investigate sounds like a police procedural.
It sounds like you're accusing them of fraud.
Yes. Could you look into this, however, treats the agent as a trusted professional.
Here is the example sentence. Could you look into this and let me know what happened?
Very soft, deeply polite, but it still demands an action.
Let's run the mini dialogue. I'll be the customer looking at my account. I do not see the update yet.
Could you look into this, please?
Nice. It puts the responsibility on me without insulting me.
But what if there is no mystery? What if the item is clearly shattered and there's nothing to investigate?
Then you need a concrete solution. Which brings us to phrase 6. What can be done about this?
This is a masterclass in diplomacy. The meaning is just to ask what solution is possible.
But the usage note highlights the balance. It is firm, but still polite.
Yes, and it's all about the passive voice. Notice it is what can be done, not what can you do.
Oh, wow. That is a massive distinction. If I ask, what can you do, I'm dumping the whole corporate failure onto this one random employee.
Exactly. It can feel like a personal challenge. They might feel cornered and just say, there is nothing I can do.
But the passive voice separates the person from the corporation. Let's see the example sentence delivery. What can be done about this?
It puts the responsibility of the solution back on the representative without insulting them.
Let's hear the mini dialogue. You be the agent.
Okay. I understand the problem with the shattered item.
Thank you. What could be done about this?
See? You're asking me what levers I can pull within my system to help you.
We are allies against the machine.
Yeah.
But, okay, let's introduce the hardest part of these interactions.
Oh boy. Section 4. Staying firm.
Right. What happens when their first solution just isn't good enough?
Like when they ruin a huge catering order and offer you a 5% coupon?
Yes. The temptation to lose your temper is huge because it feels insulting.
We need a mechanism to hold the line. Phrase 7. I understand, but that does not solve the problem.
So powerful. The meaning here is for when the other person's answer is not enough.
But listen to the usage note carefully. It warns that this phrase is very direct.
Because the words themselves carry so much weight.
Nice. So keeping your tone extremely calm is crucial. If you sound angry, you ruin everything.
Right. If you yell, I understand, but that does not solve it, you just sound hostile.
You have to deliver it totally flat.
Let's do the example sentence. I understand, but that does not solve the problem.
It is the ultimate polite rejection.
Let's run the mini dialogue. I'll be the agent offering a weak script. I'm sorry for the inconvenience.
I understand, but that does not solve the problem.
Wow. It's like a brick wall. The first part is strategic empathy. You validate their apology.
And the second part is the pivot, the undeniable truth. An apology doesn't fix my plumbing.
You corner the problem, not the person. But wait, what if they try to just send you into the void?
Ah, the vague promise. We will review the case and get back to you.
Yes. That is a pressure release valve for them.
Yeah.
You hang up with no idea what is actually happening.
Which is why we need phrase 8. I would appreciate a clear next step.
The meaning here is to use this when you need a specific action.
The usage note emphasizes how professional and controlled this sounds. It prevents the call from ending on a vague promise.
Let's hear the example delivery. I would appreciate a clear next step.
It sounds like project management. You are taking quiet control.
Let's do the mini dialogue. You be the agent trying to brush me off.
All right, well, we will review the case.
Thank you. I would appreciate a clear next step.
See, it forces me to define the roadmap.
It ensures you leave the conversation with a concrete expectation. That is so empowering.
It really gives you your agency back.
Okay, we've covered the theory. Now it is time to put these tools into action with a dedicated practice section.
Yes, knowing the phrases is one thing, but using them under pressure is another.
We are going to walk through a continuous customer service situation. And I want us to really discuss the contrast between how someone might normally react versus the better response from our guide.
That's a great idea. We can analyze the learning process in depth.
Okay, situation 1. Start the complaint. You ordered an expensive espresso machine for a cafe grand opening tomorrow.
Oh, high stakes.
Very. But they delivered a cheap home model coffee maker. You call support. The emotional instinct is to scream, you sent the wrong machine. This is a disaster.
And that instinct spikes their heart rate. They get defensive immediately.
Right. So what is the better response?
You take a breath and you say, I'm having an issue with this order.
The contrast is huge. The emotional way creates chaos. The better way creates a puzzle to solve.
Exactly. So the agent asks what the problem is.
Which brings us to situation 2. Explain the story. The instinct is to rant about the delivery driver, the cheap plastic, the cafe opening. Everything all at once.
That overloads the agent completely. You need structure.
So what is the better response?
You say, here's what happened.
It is so surgical. You organize their note-taking instantly.
Right. So you tell them the wrong box arrived.
Okay, situation 3. Ask someone to investigate. The agent says, well, my screen shows the expensive machine was delivered. The instinct is to yell, well, your screen is wrong. Go find out who messed up.
Which attacks their system. The better response is collaborative. You say, could you look into this?
So simple. You validate what they see, but politely insist they dig deeper.
And they put you on hold, check the warehouse, and realize a label was swapped.
Yes. Situation 4. Ask for a solution. They admit the mistake. The instinct is to demand a helicopter drops it off in 10 minutes.
Which is impossible and leads to a breakdown. The better response is the passive shield. You say, what can be done about this?
Right. You force them to review their logistical options. But they come back and say, well, standard shipping takes 5 days.
Unacceptable for a grand opening.
Exactly. Situation 5. The answer is not enough. The instinct is to explode and say, I am not waiting 5 days, let me speak to a manager.
That just authorizes them to put you in a hold queue forever. The better response holds the boundary calmly. You say, I understand, but that does not solve the problem.
So powerful. You acknowledge their rule, but reject its application to your crisis.
And it forces them to actually find an overnight shipping solution for you.
Seeing the messy emotional instinct placed right next to the structured phrase really drives it home.
It's like upgrading your whole conversational operating system.
It really is. All right, as we wrap up, let's do a structured review of the most useful language we covered today.
Yes, let's slowly and clearly alternate reading the 8 core phrases. I will start.
Sounds good.
Number 1, I am having an issue with this order.
Number 2, I was expecting something different.
Number 3, here's what happened.
Number 4, the main problem is.
Number 5, could you look into this?
Number 6, what can be done about this?
Number 7, I understand, but that does not solve the problem.
Number 8, I would appreciate a clear next step.
Excellent. My final message to you, the listener, is highly actionable.
What should they do?
Practice one complaint today in a calm voice. Specifically, practice using the words issue, happened, and next step. Build that muscle memory before you actually need it.
That is fantastic advice. And if you found this deep dive helpful, please remember to subscribe to our channel for more language tools and deep dives.
Definitely subscribe. And I want to leave you with one final thought to mull over.
Oh, I love these. Lay it on us.
When you master the art of being polite but firm, you aren't just changing how customer service representatives treat you.
Right.
You are fundamentally changing how you feel about yourself in moments of conflict.
Wow.
If you can stay calm and articulate when things go wrong, what other difficult conversations in your life might suddenly become easier to navigate?
That is such a provocative thought. If you start relying on anger to feel powerful, it changes everything.
It really does. You might find you never need to shout again.
A perfect place to end.
Yeah.
Thank you all for listening, and we will catch you on next one.